How's it going, y'all? Back here, a new damn video. Let's get right down to it. Hold on about that. Sorry about that. Eagles. What can I say? Look, I've been looking at all different things that have been going on and what the Eagles can do to improve. Look, we got to get the run game going. I looked at our, last year had to be our best season, whatever, because we won the Super Bowl. And not even last year. I look at even Doug Peterson's first season, 2016. The run game was our weapon. And I've said this last year. I actually made a video around this time, I think it was it? Us versus the Chargers last year, I think it was. Before that game, or after that game, which was like week 5, whatever the hell. So around this time, if you want to call it that, even though we're going into week 8, we need to get a running back in here. Okay, Smallwood, Clement, I like them a lot. Okay, I think they got talent, but I look at last week's game. I don't know the exact stats. Okay, but I think it was 24 carries total between the backs for a total of 58 yards. That's it. That game we lost against Carolina, that wouldn't have happened last season. And the reason I say that is because you had LeGarrette Blount. You had a 17-point lead. You had a bulldozer at running back. And you would have pounded that rock that whole fourth quarter. You would have just pounded it. Boom, 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 boom. And then you would have milked that clock as much as you could. A lot of people are putting blame on Wentz for that game. Look, he did have a shot right there. And as I put in my, my recap, and I said, he had a Smallwood wide open right there or whatever. But I'm not going to harp on that. We shouldn't even have been put in that situation to begin with. The defense was over there dancing in the third quarter, going into the fourth. I seen a fan post a video who was at the link. Of course, a fan in the stands. The defense dancing and trying to get all hyped up and stuff. And the next thing you know, they give up 17 unanswered points. It was 17-0. I understand giving up a touchdown in garbage time or giving up a field goal or 2 field goals or even 2 TDs, but not blowing the whole 17-point lead. And that's why I point back and I said, wow, last year it was LeGarrette Blount. He was the pounder. He was the guy who every time we got in these situations where we got up real high in the scores, we would pound the ball with him. And then sometimes we would do play action, boom, and keep scoring. Okay? Every time in Doug Peterson's career, I told you that he runs the ball more than he passes, or he runs the ball, I think it's like 30 plus times, or the team overall rushes for 100 yards, whether it be a quarterback running, running back running. He has a winning record. I can't remember the exact record because at the time it was high, and then we kept doing it all season. It got even higher, but it's a really good record. It's a winning record. Not many losses. We need to get a running back in here. And I know a lot of people say, oh, we lost to LeGarrette Blount. That was the biggest loss. Look, the Eagles didn't expect Jay Ajayi to get hurt. And I understood the move at first. I said, hey, you know what? I said, you're moving on from Blount. And the reason you're moving on from Blount is because he's older. You got Jay Ajayi here for another year. He's the featured future back of this team. And, hey, his contract year is coming up. We got to know what he's worth as a full-time starter, not as a role player, not as a 2-punch combo. We got to see what he's got in the tank if we want to sign him long-term, big-time deals. So I understood the move. Look back on it and go, damn, wish we did get rid of Blount. But I understand it at the end of the day. Okay, but I also look at it and say, you know what? Jay Ajayi did get hurt, but let's be real. Some of these games we were in them. Like the Titans game, we started running the ball and still lost the game, still blew a lead. That's on the defense. But this is back to what I'm saying. We need to get a running back in here. Smallwood ain't cutting it. Corey Clement is a really good role player. He's better as a receiving back, in my opinion, than running the ball. I'm not asking for Le'Veon Bell, okay, because everyone wants him. And people don't understand this. The reason why he's not coming back to the Steelers facility yet is because the rumors are people that are close to the Steelers said he wants to wait. Even Adam Schefter said it too. He wants to wait until after the trade deadline so he doesn't have to sign a tender, whatever the hell it is. Sorry, tender. Because once you sign that, you're able to be traded. And he doesn't want to go back, sign that, and then get traded. Because his whole idea, from what I heard, and this is actually really smart. He wants to go back there, get his numbers up, so his numbers are deflated. His numbers are inflated up, and then he's going to go into free agency with all these high numbers, which he already had, but already has high numbers, proves to every other team in the NFL that, hey, I can still play even though I took time off. Because if he just doesn't play at all this year and he goes into free agency, teams are going to say, wow, has he been working out? Wow, they're going to do a lot of background checks, and he's going to lose a lot of money. Even though he's losing some now, but he's gaining some because he's not like Earl Thomas. They made him go out there and look, now he's hurt. Now he's going to lose money in free agency. So Le'Veon Bell, he's out of the box. I already knew we never had a chance of getting him. The Eagles did try acquiring him or whatever. I heard David Johnson's name. David Johnson's definitely not leaving the Cardinals. If we got David Johnson, honestly, just my personal opinion, I prefer David Johnson over Le'Veon Bell just because I'm a David Johnson fan. Not just that, he already is under contract. And I don't think it's that big as Le'Veon Bell's is going to be. Because Winston has to get paid soon too. Deadline comes up October 30th. Do I see any moves getting made in general? I see maybe Emmanuel Sanders coming here as they are talking about. Patrick Peterson is definitely an option. They said that the Eagles actually were the first one to make an offer. It's between us and the Chiefs right now. And we were the ones who made our offer first. So we'll see what happens with that. But all we need is a run game going. Listen to me, man. That game, we would have won that game last week. And even that Titans game where we're up 17 whatever, we would have pounded that ball. Doug, now don't be wrong, you have running backs because every NFL team has a running back. So, of course, you can run the ball with anybody and still, preserve time. Even though we had time possession throughout that whole entire game last week. But it's not the same. Like last year I said, we had Blunt. He was pounding it. We got into the fourth quarter, had a lead. No matter if it was 17 points, 14 points, 21 points, you just pound it with him, and everything was solid. We need to get a running back in here. There's many names you could pick through. Someone said get what the hell's his name off the Lions. I can't remember his name on top of my head right now. I don't even want the guy. Okay, let's just put it that way. Amir Abdullah. I don't want him. Why would I want him? He's been hurt and he's been this, he's been that. No, I want somebody to get a bruiser in here. That's one thing. If you're going to pick up back, you need a bruiser back. If you can't get Le'Veon Bell or David Johnson, then pick up somebody like that. Shady McCoy, people keep talking about the Shady McCoy thing. No, I don't want him. I'm sorry. I'll take him. He's better than what we have. But he's hurt. Hurt his rib this season. Had a head injury, left the game. So it's all messed up. But I don't know who you could trade for. I don't know who's out there. People said Duke Johnson from the Browns. That would be a good pickup. But you look at it, he's not a bruiser either. He's another catching receiver. You know what I'm saying? Another pass catching receiver. And it's going to get, in my opinion, once Darren Sproles does come back, they're going to be passing the ball even more because he's going to be on the field. They're going to put it in his hands, throwing screens and stuff. So I don't know, but I think with this trade deadline coming up, we got to get the run game back. And if you can't get anybody, with the guys we have, just run the rock and see if you can make something happen. Josh Adams, okay, is a guy, everyone loves Smallwood. I like Smallwood too. He's okay. I love Corey Clement. I think he's a hell of a talent. But I think Josh Adams is the guy. He's the pounder. He's the bruiser. Back in Notre Dame, 200-something yard game I remember he had. He averaged 6.7 yards per carry, most in Notre Dame history. The kid can pound it, and he doesn't get many touches, so you can't really see his ability. But that's what we need late in games. And if you can't, trade for running back, because there's not many out there, and there's not studs like that people think we can get. This is my last saying. All I got to say is this, and this is what was posted outside of Lincoln Financial, the NovaCare complex, after we lost, I think, against the Chiefs. Fans held the sign up for Doug Peterson and for the team to see out from the NovaCare complex. 2 fans did, which changed our whole entire season last year. The sign straight up said, "Run the ball." So, Doug, know your identity. Know the team's identity. Enough with this Andy Reid Jr. stuff. Pass. We're going to run a little bit. Now, I know we don't have the backs that are capable because if you look at it, 24 carries, 58 yards. But you got to understand, some of these running backs, almost all running backs in the league, need a multiple amount of carries just to get going. This committee stuff ain't working. It worked with Blount and Jay Ajayi, but Blount was at least getting 15 carries a game. By the time he got to 10, you saw the juices flowing and him hitting, bang, 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 coming through the holes. I'll be back here later maybe tomorrow, next day, when I'm available for my preview against the Jacksonville Jaguars, which is going to be a tough game. You're going into London. Jacksonville's done it for 3 years. They've been there for 3 years. They went to London, did the trip, so they know the whole thing, jet lag, everything. And the Jags have been successful in London. And a lot of it's because these other teams are coming there. They're not, like, I heard Joe Flacco got off the plane with, the Ravens, and automatically he was like, I have jet lag. So that's an advantage in the Jaguars' court. But I'm going to leave this message here. I'm going to say this. Get a running back or don't get a running back. Doug, just run the ball. Go Birds.